But for the new people, that's my job. And I really spent a lot of time thinking about the 2 classes that I'm going to do starting tomorrow. It's easy enough to talk about harmony. Basically, there's 2 things that music do: harmony and rhythm. And both of them are a gigantic study. You could be a percussionist and not think that much about music the way that we do as far as chord changes are concerned, and still spend your life learning how to play alternate rhythms and patterns. But when you can take those alternate rhythms and patterns and apply those against harmonically what you're doing, which is part of what I want to spend time talking to you about tomorrow. I think the way I'm going to do it, and I'll spend a lot more time tomorrow than today, but just to kind of wet your whistle, I plan to show you something about vocal techniques, about how to sing high up into your range and down without hurting your voices, and to sort of understand what the technique is. Because really, music, when it comes to playing a musical instrument, it's the mechanics of the instrument, and then it's the mind of the person that's expressing themselves through the instrument. My journey, those of you that know, was that I was raised by a grandmother who could just sing for hours and hours and never repeat a song. I learned many songs that she sang by the time I was 8 or 9 years old, because she'd sing a lot of the same songs over and over again. But honest to God, my grandmother lived to be 97. Close to the end of her life, she actually sang a couple songs in the hospital when I was with her. And she still could come up with a song now and then that I had never heard in my life. And she was born in 1906, so she had like these songs in the 1800s on up. But she loved Dinah Washington and Billie Holiday and Sinatra. And I grew up listening to all of that all my life from a young age. So for me, the journey started as long as back as I can remember. And yes, I was raised by my grandmother. So I heard her singing all the time. So by the time I was 11, I was picking up the guitar, and I was like, you know, I could find the note. Even when I didn't know what the name of the note was, I could find the note. So it wasn't like I had perfect pitch. It was like I had really good recall, if that makes any sense. And that's what I want to share with you. I'm writing a book. I was just talking about it, and I've been thinking about the titles over and over and over again. I kept on saying, just sing it, or singing it. It's that simple. And I was thinking all of those, but I finally figured out that what I really should call the book is A Musical Mind. Because that's really what you have to develop. And from my point of view, you should be able to sing everything. You should be able to sing it first and play it second on your instrument. Find something, structure it, put it inside a container. Like my idea of a container is 1 octave. And inside that 1 octave, you can sing a major scale, a major pentatonic scale, a minor blues scale, a chromatic scale, major 7th chords, minor 7th chords, dominant 7th chords, minor 7 flat 5 chords, and all the actual physical connections between the notes, right? So you start to realize that there's patterns. Ba-ba-da-bee, ba-ba-doo, ba-ba-da-bay, bay, ba-ba-da-boo-day, ba-ba-doo-bay, ba-ba-da-boo-root. So I went from the 7th to the 5th down to the root. I think 7, 5, 3, 1. And I know that chromatically the pattern is 4, 5, 4. Well, no, wait, the other way around. 5, 4, 5. That's the pattern. And if I was doing a dominant 7th chord, the pattern would be 4, 4, 5. Right? So now I can play that on any musical instrument that I play. And that's kind of my concept for it. As far as singing songs, everything's a melody line and chord changes that works to the melody line. So I never know what I'm just going to look for a title and have fun. How about this? Watch out, this isn't too loud. You ready? Yep. I needed the shelter of someone's arms. There you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and downs. Baby, there you were. With sweet love and devotion, touching my emotions. I wanna stop, thank you, babe. I wanna stop and thank you, babe. How sweet it is to be in love by you. Oh, 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 oh. How sweet it is to be in love by you. I close my eyes at night, wondering where would I be without you in my life. Everything before you was just a bore, and everywhere I went, well, I've been there before. You brighten up for me all of my days with your love in so many ways. I wanna stop, thank you, babe. I wanna stop, thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be in love by you. Oh, oh, oh. How sweet it is to be in love by you. Now, normally I would be playing a horn solo right here, but I'll go sha sha ba doo ba doo babe, sha boo da doo da da doo da doo ba doo da dee ba doo ba ba day one day do. Deeply touching my emotions. I wanna stop, thank you, babe. I wanna stop, thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be in love by you. Oh, how sweet it is being loved by you. Shagagadoo-body. How sweet it is to be in love by you. Yeah. How sweet it is to be loved by you. One more time I say, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Thank you. So I tried to throw a bunch of things in there, little chromatic things. The idea of being able to go, ooh, ooh, ooh. Everything's connected to that. If you think about singers when they sing, lots of times they hit something high, descend low. So one of the things I really want to talk to you about is learning how to sing a lot of scales descending instead of ascending. Because everybody's used to starting do, re, mi, fa, sol, and then coming back down again. Want to start high, come down. One more song. Again, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Just looking for a title. I've got this in two versions. One has a sax solo in it and one doesn't. I'll do the one with the sax solo. Let me tell you about a girl I know. She's my baby and she lives next door. Every morning before the sun come up, she bring me coffee in my favorite cup. And that's why, oh, that's why, hallelujah, I just love her so. When I'm in trouble and I got no friends, she stick with me until the end. My friends all ask me how I know. I smiled at them, she says, you told me so. And that's why, oh, that's why, hallelujah, I just love her so. And when I call her on the telephone, I say, baby, I am so alone. Before I can count from 1 to 4, I hear on my door in the evening when the sun goes down, and there's nobody else around. She stick with me and she holds me tight, tells me, Jimmy, everything's all right. And that's why, oh, that's why, hallelujah, I just love her so. My friend, Mr. Abraham Vasquez. Bet you thought I was going to sit down and sing, didn't you? Forget it. And when I call her on the telephone, I say, baby, I am so alone. Before I can count from 1 to 4, I hear on my door in the evening when the sun goes down and there's nobody else around. She stick with me and she holds me tight, tells me, Jimmy, everything's all right. And that's why, oh, that's why, hallelujah, I just love her so. Hallelujah, I just love her so. Love that girl in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon. I love, 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 oh, I love that girl. Hallelujah, hallelujah, I just love her so. Shagadado, yes I do. Oh, love that girl all my life. Yeah. Woo. So we're not going to, uh-huh.
Jim, I wonder, could you say something about mic placement? You did some really interesting things with the mic while you were singing.
Microphones are really important about how you use them. So if I'm going to go, I just love that girl, you got to be able to hear me all this way. So I'm going to eat it. If I'm going to do one of my kind of like little bluesy hard licks, I might pull away from it a little bit. So I'm very aware of what I sound like right here. I'm very aware of what I sound like here and what I sound like right here. Sinatra used to do this all the time, but he used an SM58 of the time, and an SM58 of the time boosted the bass. Now, a Beta 58 doesn't boost the bass. So you kind of like to, you need to really understand microphones, how you're going to use them, right? But this is my basic vocal technique. You know, seriously.
I was really watching what you were doing. It was really interesting when you were doing it. So it was really interesting that it's really deliberate. So
it is totally deliberate. But within my vocal reflexes at this point in time in my life, I'm not thinking about it too much, but I do think about it. And I'm more than happy to work on microphone technique. I'll have a mic in the other room through my PA system that we can talk about it. Okay, so I don't want to take up, I want to have enough time so you guys can get up here and play tonight. So I'll see you at class.